Never gonna fall, AC Milan. We give it all. Through the highs and the lows, we stay true. Red and black forever is what we do.
Yeah, from San Siro lights to the streets worldwide, we wear that red and black with Milan pride. No matter who's in charge, no matter who's coach, it's deeper than a game, it's a way to approach. You can change the name, you can switch the scene, but we still rep Milan, living that dream. Redbird came through, shook up the team. Maldini got cut, man, it felt like a scheme. But legends don't die, now they live in our heart, just like the love we got for the squad from the start. Ownerships rotate, but we never let go. AC Milan's in our blood, that's all we know.
No matter who's in charge, no matter who they bring, AC Milan's the song we'll always sing. They can break our hearts, they can tear us apart, but we'll always love Milan, that's who we are. Yeah, we'll always love Milan, that's who we are.
Yeah, Maldini was family that hit us hard. Like losing a king, man, they pulled his card. But you can't kill the spirit, the love we got for the team we ride for through every shot. It's not about who owns, it's not about who signs, it's about the badge, the legacy through the lines. From Gattuso's grit to Sheva's flair, every era we're loyal, everywhere. Whether we win or lose, we hold it down. Milan's our life, the kings of the crown. So fire who you want, change what you please, but the Rossoneri love is the air we breathe.
No matter who's in charge, no matter who they bring, AC Milan's the song we'll always sing. They can break our hearts, they can tear us apart, but we'll always love Milan, that's who we are. Yeah, we'll always love Milan, that's who we are. It broke our hearts when Maldini was gone, but we stand tall cause Milan marches on. Red and black forever, it's more than just a game. We'll keep on fighting, repping that name.
Through the ups and downs, we remain loyal. Milan's in our blood, running through the soil. Ownership don't matter, coaches come and go. Milan's our heart, always in the flow. So let them fire legends, let them make the call. We still stand tall, repping Milan through it all.
No matter who's in charge, no matter who they bring, AC Milan's the song we'll always sing. They can break our hearts, they can tear us apart, but we'll always love Milan, that's who we are. Yeah, we'll always love Milan, that's who we are.
There we go. What's going on, Milan Nation, Milanisti? It's your host, Nicko, on the post-game show. And I have my sidekick here, famous Sugar Shane.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
What's going on?
Stressful evening, man.
That was a nail biter. I was, especially with the 7 minutes extra time. Didn't quite know where that game was going to go. So Shane, how you been? Quick, it's been a minute.
Yeah,
Talk to
good.
me.
Good, man. Good. Apologies about not making it today to the earlier pod. Just had some other stuff going on today to attend to. I made it back for the game, though. It was a hell of a thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, during the pregame with John with Lab, I had a 2-2 game. I think it was I had it going as a tie today. I didn't think we would get a clean sheet, to be honest with you, at all.
Technically, we didn't, but
yeah, I mean, officially we did.
Yeah.
On the official scoreboard, it's a 1-0 win, or one of our, I think, our first or second clean sheet of the season. If that. Hey, everybody's tuned in, by the way. Thanks for locking into our post game as always. Let's kick it off. So, how much of the game did you watch today?
Watched all of it. Every fucking nail-biting moment of it, to be honest.
Give me your thoughts on the game. I'll get into mine afterwards.
Overall, so the result obviously being what it is. So just for anyone that doesn't know what the scoreline was, it was 1-0. A goal by Chukwueze kind of got us over the line. There was an awful lot of things that happened, which we'll discuss. But yeah, so it was a 1-0 victory. That being said, though, Rangers getting himself sent off. To be honest, I understand the letter of the law is that if it's the last man and it's a challenge. But to be honest, the more I look at that challenge, the more it just looks like, to me, that basically raised his foot to make out Rangers, and then he went down. But that being said, though, Nicko, you did mention a great point on the chat, which was, all right, situation is that Rangers hadn't left himself in a good position in the first place, and that's kind of what led to it. I get that, but Jesus Christ, it was one of the softest reds that I'd seen. What did you think of that overall situation with Rangers?
I mean, we've seen a lot of really questionable red cards in the past, especially this season too. I don't know if the refs are being told by their senior guys to call these more soft red cards, because letter by the law, like you said, sure, last man defense, more times than not, that's a straight red, taking away a good scoring opportunity. It was incidental contact for sure, but at the same time, so if you notice that play, we played with in that moment the ball went was passed. We were playing with a back five. So out of fact, Tijani was right next to Chow on that back five. It was marking him. And I think, was it two? Who had stepped that? Hold on, let me look at my notes really quick. Where's my notes?
Defensively, though.
Yeah, that was a gap. So there was somebody didn't scan the field. Hold on, I'm trying to find. They scored in the first. That was in the first half, right? Yeah, it was the red card.
Yep.
So that was So Chow was next to him, because Pavlovic had stepped up a little bit. So first of all, they didn't play an offsides trap, which they should have. That was the first mistake. No offsides trap was placed. Second, the minute that ball was passed, Chow, if you notice, Chow was just sitting there. He didn't even bother to scan on the left side to make sure, hey, where's the ball's going? Let me anticipate. Maybe I need to pinch in a little bit, help out. Tijani's not a great defender by any means. All right. Let me not leave him on an island 1v1 against a player going towards goal. We pinch in. By the time Chow realized what happened, it was too late. He couldn't backtrack. It doesn't have some more speed. And you put your player, your teammate in a really bad spot. It is what it is. Listen, if we look at the overall game, the ref he allowed a lot of stuff to happen in that game on both sides of the field today. All right, and we'll get to the stats in a minute, but there was another play where late in the second half, Pavlovic got away with a clear. We've talked about this plenty of times. Yeah, we did win. I'm extremely happy, but we got lucky as well, because Pavlovic could have been sent off as well for that play, or gotten a yellow card and gave up a PK.
Like, that was a fucking dangerous tackle, man.
But we knew this coming in. The minute we signed Pavlovic, we all knew he's a big guy who makes super reckless challenges. I mean, that's why I call him the Serbian Merc. I call him a Serbian hitman. That's what he is. He's like those hockey players back in the 80s that were sent on the ice just to hurt opposing players. That's what Pavlovic is. He's a very raw player who makes really questionable, really dangerous plays that can cost your team points. Luckily, the ref missed it. There was no VAR. There was no VAR involved. Play went on, and that was that. But look, overall, it wasn't a bad game. Listen, before the red, I saw some good things. Fofana had another decent game. He was good on the ball, strong on the ball, press resistant. We Udinese couldn't do anything at all. Even when we were down 10 men and we went into that low block, right? That 4-4-1. That's what we played. Once Tajani was sent off, hey, that was it. They couldn't. They would just look slow. They couldn't take advantage of Tereshanu or Emerson Royale out in the wings at all. Nothing. You know.
Yeah, so that's one thing. So no, we're definitely not being negative today, lad. But just like there's one thing that I didn't understand, and it's like, so Udinese knew that, you know, we have Terracciano there playing at left back, and for a good portion of that game, he had Okafor in front of him, right? So it's not like, you know, it's not like he would have had Pulisic sitting in front of him or something that would have tracked back to the
Pulisic's always tracking back, yeah.
Right. So, and it's like they didn't even exploit that. And I don't quite understand why. Good news is they didn't, obviously got away with the win. What was another standout just to cover like many of the glaring fuck ups from the referee in this case? A player got trampled on.
Well, one of our guys got stomped on in the middle of the field,
wasn't it?
Chuck, yeah, he got stomped on his ankle.
Like that, and you know, and that's a red card, and that wasn't called. So I mean, like, I don't know how this ref is still in the
Dude,
this
is bad refereeing as part of the game. If anybody who's watched games long enough, like you and I have, or have played it or coached it, refs suck in general, even at the highest level where they're professional referees. They suck. Ask the EPL fans how many times they go after the referees during their games.
I know, Nicko, but like there's like, you could also say, oh, not calling a foul or something, but when you're missing like 2 red cards.
Yeah, no, look, it's bad. Look, it's bad. Listen, it happened to us in the champ. It's bad. Luckily, we overcame it. We didn't let it affect the game, and we came out with the win. More importantly, all right.
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
man, that's it. I mean, when I first looked at the lineup, to be honest, seeing Chow, Pavlovic, I was like, oh boy. Because this is another thing they didn't take advantage of. So Udinese going into this game, they were tied with us with the most headers for goals. They were up there top. They didn't take advantage of that. Pavlovic was strong in the air for the majority of the game. There was one questionable play he made on that goal that got called off. So there was a cross.
93rd
It was a cross.
minute?
It was earlier than that. A cross came in from the left side.
Yeah.
Pavlovic went to head it. He missed the header. He mistimed it. It went to the striker. I think he was guarded. Chow was on him. So for a minute, Pavlovic. So by the time Pavlovic reacted, the guy was already had turned on Chow, took a shot. Mike made a really nice save, point blank save. That was not an easy save. And then off the rebounds, Pavlovic got beat on the header, but it was called off. It was called for an offsides. So did it look like, originally it didn't look like an offsides, but on the replay, you could clearly buy, I think, a fingernail, practically.
Yeah, like the 2 offsides that they had, right? So when you mention it, it's like they had 2 disallowed goals. But hey, to be honest, you know, I think even down to 10 men, I think our performance was enough. You know, we deserved it.
Was. We did deserve the win. We were compact. We stayed together. We didn't allow Udinese to take over the game. Like I said, their wingers were ineffective. Their forwards were ineffective as well. Tamari, Chow, and his credit as well. Listen, I've been hard on Chow in the past, and rightfully so. Do I think he's still a starter? No, hell no, he's not a starting center back.
Neither is Pavlovic for me, though.
But, correct, he's got time to learn the game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's where we're at right now. But one thing, Chow and Pavlovic did not cost us the game today, which we've seen in the past especially from Chow. What he's done in the past for us.
As much as he tried.
Yeah, listen, as much as he wanted to, he didn't fuck up today.
Yeah. Good
on Chow. I'll give him that. Good for coming off the bench for the first start of the season and playing a decent game.
You know. So, I read in the various media, from the various media outlets that I look at every day. I had read a piece on Leao on why he's not fitting into Fonseca's system.
Why is that?
So apparently it's just
You're
look,
okay.
it's based around the way that Fonseca has the team set up, right? Because if you looked at Leao when he was at his most effective, it's when he would have received the ball either in our half or close to the halfway line and then just fucking ran with it. Now it's more like steady, measured build-up play, and he's just not set up for it because he
Well,
gets closed down.
yeah, he gets closed down because under Pioli, the difference between Pioli and Fonseca, Pioli allowed for more freedom with players to be more
Yeah.
creative, a lot more. And Fonseca is he's in the extreme opposite of that spectrum. He's more of a traditional positional football that we see with like Deserbi and those coaches. So it doesn't fit Leao. Leao likes to be free. He likes to do his own thing and be creative with Hernandez on that left side. We're not seeing enough of that this season because he wants to
No.
build it up from the back. And listen, we don't have the players for that either. You know, we have maybe two players that could fit into a system. Does that
Leao is
mean
young though, and he can
he is
learn.
young? But the question is, does he want to learn?
This is the thing. I think I'm getting vibes here similar to and I'm not saying that they are on the same level at all, but I'm getting similar vibes to when the player becomes too big for the club, similar to Mbappe at PSG. And I'm not saying that they're on the same level, right?
But
Or
personality
that,
wise,
yeah, personality wise, when they feel that they're bigger than the club and they can, command whatever respect they want from management or even people in higher up positions. I think I'm getting that vibe with Leao. Theo, I okay, we don't know what's going on there. That's kind of a vibe that could be happening there as well. So I mean, what do you do? At least Theo is, when he's not getting himself fucking sent off, he is showing up every now and then. But Leao isn't. So I mean, do you sell him this year? Do you sell him in the summer if it continues this way, Nicko?
well, it all depends if Fonseca stays or goes too.
So the thing is, I think with Fonseca, man, I think when you look at what he has, so if we, God forbid, if we didn't get the 3 points this game, I don't think, outside of one or two outliers like Rangers getting sent off, I don't think for the most part, and you can't blame the coach and you can't blame the majority of the players that played this game, even if we didn't get the win.
No, listen, I said it in the chat. I said the only thing I'd blame Fonseca for if one of those players that he put into the Terrashano, Chow, Pavlovich made a costly error, which they didn't. If that would have happened, especially near the end of the game, and cost us the game and to lose out on those 3 points, you can blame it on Fonseca.
Yeah.
Because
But
this is one thing we've heard about over time on his pregame, and we covered today with the lab. We went over his conference, like we played it, and lab broke it down. He was setting up this team for possibly losing this game, saying, "Oh, I don't have enough time to prep the players and to learn the system." Like he's blaming everything but himself on why the team is not looking as sharp as it should be at this point of the season. So yeah, we did win. Was it a pretty game? But sometimes you can't win these pretty games. You just got to take 3 points, move on, and fix on things that you need to fix on, things that you need to work on for the next week. Because we got
yeah,
another big
so
game coming up.
and I
But in
mean,
terms of Leao being sold, like if a team comes around and offers 80 mil, which I don't think so now because I think his value has dropped as a player a little bit.
Yep.
Especially with his personality. Unless there's a strong coach out there that can work with him, like an Arteta, like a Pep, like
Pioli over in Saudi Arabia.
No, Pioli, no, I don't like Pioli. Pioli's in, he did win us a Scudetto for that. I'll give him that much. But Leao, if we and do even if we do sell him, how much confidence do we have as a fan base? I'm going to putting it out there for all the Red Bull supporters still out there. Do we have any confidence that this club, with Mercado dictating the market on who we're buying, to invest that in a really good way and purchase? I'm not saying Leao type, because that's going to be hard to find. Somebody close to Leao.
Because it's going to be maybe they might splash out a bit if they got 60 million for Leao, and they might get a 30 million player. But even so,
30 mil. Oh,
yeah,
that's big spending there.
Yeah,
for a left wing.
Because you know yourself, it's not going to be a player that like we're screaming about or we're going, oh, this is going to fix everything. It's going to be some guy from fucking Ligue 2 over in France that no one's ever heard about.
You know what I'd be happy with, Shane? If they would go out of their way and scouted South America.
Yep.
For example, we use South America for Brazil, because Brazil is turning out a lot of really really good wingers now. A lot of really super talented offensive players recently.
They have fucking Serginho. Remember Serginho? The player?
Yeah.
He's our scout in Brazil.
Where's he doing? He hasn't done anything for us.
Like, that was it now. Someone please in the comments correct me if I'm wrong. But the last that I had read, and this was about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, Serginho was still our scout in Brazil.
We could look it up on Transfer Market really quick.
Can I do that? Okay. One second.
Transfer Market. Because I was looking at it the other day. Transfer, if I could spell right. Transfer Markets. Hey, if anybody from Transfer Market is listening to this podcast, if you guys want to do us a solid and support this channel.
Yeah, honestly, it's a great resource. If someone doesn't know about Transfer Market, guys, check it out. It's amazing.
All right, let's go to our club, Syria. Oh, this is not what I wanted.
Just while you're looking at that, Nicko, I'll just call out Vadino's comments there. Comment.
Go ahead.
Vadino, hello, sir, as well, by the way. Beating Udinese with 10 players without Leao and Teo, with the assistance of the VAR. Fonseca's lucky strike, it is indeed. And let's talk Milan. Again, hello, sir. Nice to see you again. Hello, guys. Hello.
That's Carmelo.
Carmelo it is.
All right, let's take a look at our current staff. There it is. So, Jesus Christ. This is not what I wanted. Coaching staff. Can I pick up coaching staff?
I'm sure he is, man. Sorry, guys. Just to recap, we're just checking if Serginho is our talent scout in Brazil, and I'm sure he was, because I remember hearing it and thinking, "Oh, that's
okay." So let's look at Tony Roberts is still our goalkeeping coach. I don't care about that. Scouts. We got Francisco Vega, Luigi Borgi, Donato Lomonte, Ibrahim Ba. No, there's no Serginho. Ibrahim Ba.
As in the player Ibrahim Ba.
I don't know.
Be a player for us.
He's French Senegal national.
Yeah, that's Ibrahim Ba. He used to play for us back in 97, 98, around that time.
Okay, he's just one of our scouts now. But that doesn't tell you what they're scouting, which area, which part of the world. Nah, so I don't see Serginho on this list anymore. Whatsoever. Hey, everybody in the chat, Carmelo, Fadinho, Lab, everybody else that's tuned in. Let's give you your thoughts on today's game. The good and the bad and the ugly. Well, there weren't too many ugly parts. There's actually more good than anything else today. Finally. But give us your thoughts on the game today. Especially on the refs.
Oh, pardon. Okay, clarification on my earlier comments. So after Serginho retired from Milan, he served as a club scout for another 9 years. So that would have been, 2008 he retired. So he was appointed then assistant coach of Turkish club Antalyaspor, and that was his last known role in football. So yeah, okay, he's no longer the scout. Carmelo. Just in relation to Tammy's injury, right? So I unfortunately have personal experience with a pop shoulder. And I was looking at Tammy's injury history, right, after seeing that, and apparently he's had it before. And the problem is once you get one pop shoulder, it's dislocated essentially. And
I can attest to that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the worst thing is, Nicko, you know yourself, it's one when you pop it out is awful. When they pop it back in, it's fucking killer, right? Yeah. It's worse.
Yeah. Painful. It's painful.
Yeah.
It's not fun at all.
No. But apparently, so I did check up on transfermarket.com as well, right? So I had looked for shoulder injuries relating to Tammy. So if someone's a doctor or someone has a medical background out there, maybe they can verify this or no. But anytime he was listed with a shoulder injury, because I know he's gotten these before, he was only out for 3 or 4 days. So is that literally all it takes for someone to come back from a pop shoulder?
It depends how bad it is.
Mm.
It depends on the severity. If you torn, so when I tore my shoulder years ago, this side, I could tell you when I went to get lab work done and see how bad it was at the right shoulder. I can't. Both shoulders are wrecked, but the doctor said it's like there's a little something that lubricates your shoulder. There's a little thing in there. I forget the name of it, technical term, but it burst. So it was leaking this fluid inside my shoulder. Like my report was about 4 pages long on what was wrong with my shoulder. It was a 4-page report. I kid you not. And the doctor said, listen, he goes, you have 2 options. Either you can go to PT or surgery. I go, I don't want to do surgery. I never want to do elective surgery in my life unless it's life-threatening. I did PT for a while, but I remember anytime it got cold or because I was still living in New York, anytime that temperature dropped, my shoulder was on fire. It all depends. And I'm sure Milan has great, physical therapists, I would hope so. But it all depends on how bad his shoulders are. If it's, just a sprain, it's not a bad deal. But if it's more than that,
true,
he might be out for a while.
Fahadini's comment. Abraham's legs look like big chopsticks. His balance is off.
Dude, Chow looks like his balance is off too. He looks like he's always on skates.
Needs to eat some pasta.
They both need to eat the pasta. They need to eat some pasta and some meat. Go on a heavy meat diet. Just start eating steaks.
Need to fill out,
They can afford to eat the good stuff. Both of them.
Dab Gorilla as well. And Let's Talk Milan. Let's Talk Milan saying, or Carmel, playing one man less for over an hour. It's tough, but a good win. Completely agreed.
Yeah. So a quick thing on Carmelo's comment there. That's not easy. People, they tend to forget to stay focused defensively for that amount of time and not give up anything stupid. Any silly goals, to any like lack of judgment and give something up. That's not easy to do. So credit the team today for that.
Fair.
Because they did pitch in, they did make good recovery runs. Pulisic worked hard off the ball. Saw him backtracking and chasing down the winger a couple times on Emerson's side. So yeah, overall good game today. A decent game.
Carmelo, this is before I was born, I'd say. Hold on. Abraham in front of goal reminds me of Luther Blissett. Must be his son. That was before I was born, Luther Blissett. When was Luther Blissett? He was like mid-80s, wasn't he?
Yeah, I was a kid. If that's the kid. That was before I started watching Milan.
Hold on.
I didn't start watching Milan regularly until I moved to Staten Island when I found this pizzeria by me. It was like Juventini running the place. He had
Oh,
the Serie A games every weekend.
1983.
Yes, I didn't even get into football at that time. Not even any sports. I was still playing GI Joes.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Carmelo's got me beat. I thought I was the old man here.
1983.
Yeah.
Amazing. And
I
I
was
think
a
he
young.
lasted a season, and then they sold him back. If I remember, I can't remember, but something like that happened. I am too young. I am.
Beginning of the 80s, yeah. That was a good time for Milan too. Good time for Serie A too, overall. 88, 84, 85. That was when Parma won their first. Was it Parma or who won that Scudetto in 84, 85? Some small team. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Let's take a look. Let's get into quick thing. Let's get into the next segment actually right now, boys. Key matchups. Today I actually went over on some key matchups on today's game. And actually it actually turned into our favorite. Let me see if I can find the graph here. I didn't update it yet, but going into the game, this was the key matchups I was looking at, right? So the keys to us winning the game today. So the first matchup, their strikers versus our center backs. We won that one today, that bout, right? Clearly beat them. This one was a draw. Jack Bijol had some good moments. Morata had some decent moments, and Abraham, but overall this was a tie. And Cabalesi, which is their left back, he actually did a pretty good job in Okafor. But and I'm not surprised. Okafor, he's lacking that spark, man. To be honest, yeah, he had an opportunity to get that score. He beat his man, turned the ball in real quick. He went in, and he took the shot. It reminded me of one of Leao's shot when he hits it, like he just like a really bad goal shot, and just shanks it. And he shanked it, and it went to the corner flag. So I don't know if he's picking up bad habits from Leao on his shot selection, but you got to do better than that, Okafor. So yeah, overall, these key matchups, we kind of held our own today, which was key to beating Udinese. Because my biggest fear was this one right here, was their strikers versus our center backs. But like I said, we took care of business today.
So this is a fair point, right? Because to be fair, right, to Royale, he wasn't very bad today.
No,
I mean,
but he wasn't challenged. He did all right. He's not exceptional. All right.
Compared to Calabria, a fucking cadaver
hold
is
on.
exceptional, though, Nicko.
I know. Listen, Calabria is falling off. I give him. I'm not defending Calabria, but the real test for Royale will be against Napoli. Let's just put that in our. Let's keep that. Just think about that. How is he going to perform against Kvaratskhelia? Because the wingers that he's played recently against haven't been that great. We've seen it when he was playing it, when he was guarding, when he was defending DeMarco against Inter. DeMarco took him to school several different times. All right, and DeMarco's not even he's not even on Theo's level. He's a very good wing back, and he got schooled. Just imagine somebody like KK on that level going 1v1 against Royale.
That's why we have Calabria. We just need Calabria to have a career-defining performance again.
Calabria, he's still injured. Like, he was sitting on the stands today. Was Zaroli too? Zaroli was sitting there today. I'm surprised he wasn't dressed. I don't know if he's hurt or what.
Yeah. So who did I see coming? Did you notice that just before halftime? It was around the 44st minute. The stream I was watching. It showed all of the players that were in the stands got up. I assume to go down to the locker room. I thought that was a good, a good healthy show of support there.
Yeah, I think they're trying to show unity after all the bullshit that we've seen in the last couple of weeks. Do I still think Fonseca has control of the team? Not necessarily. That's going to take time. One game is not enough for me.
100%. I have to say though, I'm kind of getting to the thing with. I know I was very hard on Fonseca last week. I'm kind of building up more in my repertoire of things why of reasons why he actually deserves, like he does deserve. I think the amount of problems with our club, I think getting rid of him at this point is more destructive than productive. Um, and I think the longer that I'm he is making so Pioli for 5 years, right? If we went behind, would we have won in this manner? The answer is definitely no. Right? Sorry, Nicko. I'll handle this one. But so there is no way on God's green earth, right? That
Hold on,
Hello.
guys. So, hold on,
Hello.
I'll be right back.
All right,
Hold on, Rebecca. Well, I'll be right back.
no problem. But there's no way on God's green earth, guys, right, that under Pioli, or obviously under anyone before him, right, that if we went behind, we would have not won the game in the manner that we won. Or sorry, that if we had gone a man down, we would have either shipped the goal or we would have depended on some individual brilliance from Teo or Leao or something like that to claw a point back or to claw 3 points back. So I have to give it to Fonseca at some point. It is changing. My thing is though is that while it is changing, I think does that really mean that it's positive for people that have been at the club for a while, such as now there's kids outside. This happens in Spain, by the way. In Spain, children are routinely up at 11 p.m. at night.
It's normal in Europe. Generally speaking, Europe and Mexico too.
Yeah, it's like
super common.
why would kids need sleep? It's not like they have growing brains.
It's a different mindset.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I wanted to bring up a point. Two things I just saw in the chat. John, I wish I was 29. That was a long time ago. That day is shipped. Those late 20s, early 30 days. And Grunardi, welcome. Grunardi, you've been on the show. Since Nicko said the Brazilian play, most of the players are not so great. They left their Jogo Bonata style since they changed the style to European style. Yes, because there are a lot of European teams, a lot of Brazilian players are playing EPL teams, so they're getting ready to play that style. And there's a lot of coaches in Brazil that teaching that style of play. Only a few of them in Brazil. Udinese is one of them. Very few players, but they still have really good players. And why not try to get somebody from Brazil or Peru, Chile? There's a ton of talent out of South America, but we're fixated on these getting players from the EPL or some kid from France, which we haven't got anybody from France in a long time. The last player that we got out of France that was worth anything was Mike and Kalulu.
Man, it's crazy when you think about it, right? Because surely one of the main things behind Moneyball is you try and extract like value from players. And what's the best way to do that than pick up like a Brazilian for 10 million and then sell him for 100? Do you know what I mean?
We're not like, getting. We do have a Brazilian player. We do have Royale, but I don't see him. We're not going to flip him for anything.
Or we also had, what was that guy, that keeper we had, Davis Vasquez? He wasn't Brazilian, but he was from.
He was from South America as well.
Somewhere, yeah.
I think Argentina, I believe, something like that. One of those countries. And he's actually playing pretty well. I forgot what team he's on. He's still in Serie A. But he's looking good now. I don't think he never got a really fair shot with us either.
He might be. I think they're saying he wants to come back as the backup, obviously, but he does want to come back.
I'd take him. And a heart better than Sportiello. At least he's got a higher ceiling. We know Sportiello is.
True, yeah.
He's a decent backup, and he does stupid shit in hotels in New York and cutting his hand.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was doing at a hotel room with glass, cutting his hand, cutting his ligaments. I have no idea.
That sounds like something I'd want to know, though.
Yeah, that's a story I want. I want somebody to investigate that situation. I want the footage on that.
But it's even, let's talk Milan, right? It's even, sorry, Nicko, just to, like, it's, see, I don't even think it's when Leonardo was at the club, right? Because even before that, historically, I mean, we picked Kaka up from somewhere. We picked Serginho up, I'm sure, from maybe a club in Brazil, right? So, we've always routinely been able to find players from Brazil. That was back in the, was it Braida, Berlusconi, Galliani days. So we did have strong connections there, but I don't know what the fuck has happened. The only thing I can think of is that maybe Moneyball is kind of saying, well, players are overpriced in Brazil because, people know what they are now.
They are overpriced because you have teams like Chelsea and Madrid that they have their eyes set and they're overpaying for these players.
That's
like
true.
like Endrick. As much as he's a nice striker, I think Madrid paid like 80 mil for him. For somebody who's not even a starting strike, he's not even a steady starter on Madrid. This is just based on potential. And you got Chelsea poaching players left and right from all over South America and overpaying for them as well. Some of them are good. Some of them turn out to be good. Some of them turn out to be, it's a hit or miss sometimes. But at least expand your horizon a little bit. I mean, Christ, you have all these scouts on your system. Where are they scouting?
Yeah, like I mean, and if you think about it this way, it's like management's heart is set on pulling players out of France, right? But like it's not like that, it's not like French football is this great unknown, and
It
no
was
one
at some
knows.
point,
It
yeah.
was
And
at some
everybody
point,
knows
but that
for the one
fucking
time.
horse is long bolted now. At this point, everyone knows what how good the French youth system is.
Yeah, they have really good academies out there. They're producing a lot of good players over the years. Pogba, don't forget him. He's out of France. He was, before he got into his shit, he was one of the top players in the world for a little bit of time. And I'm surprised we're not even going back to Portugal.
Yeah,
with their academy, with Sporting and Benfica and those clubs that produce a ton of talented kids, year in, year out.
Ricardo's great points. Ricardo's just saying Porto finds them somewhere, and it's 100% true. Like, and they're consistently doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Consistently, because they have a good academy in place. Because kids outside of that region in Port, they want to go there and play for them. Because you know what? Go ahead.
Carmelo was just mentioned. So Kaka, Pato, Dida, and others, they came in because Leonardo. I did not know that. That's interesting. And then Gonardi's agreeing, saying Leonardo's the scout, but the decision to bring them in was Braida. Okay, interesting. All right.
Carmelo with some knowledge.
Fuck it.
I mean, we could just. Colombia is not a bad place either. That's another place to scout.
But the thing is we do have an ex-player that was in Brazil, I believe, Robinho. He could be scouting him from his jail cell. It's not like he's anything else to do. There's plenty of time in his hands.
He's got plenty of time to get on the phone and make some calls.
Pass the day a bit quicker.
Let me ask you something, Shane. Did you take a look at? Did you see the other games today in Serie A by the chance?
Do you know what? I heard of them.
So let's go over for everybody. Let's go over the results from today for our listeners. So match day 8, Genoa 2-2 with Bologna. Genoa scored the late goal to tie up that game. Como Parma 1-1. Obviously, Milan Udinese, we won 1-0. And currently happening right now is Juve Lazio in the 33rd minute. And it looks like Lazio already has a red card. Jesus Christ. Lazio shoot himself in the foot early on in the game. And I don't know if you've seen. I hate to bring up old wounds, but man, Kalulu looks like a different player under Juve right now.
So the thing is, though, right? So I'm hearing this, but can someone confirm where is he being played? Because I'm not watching Juve games.
So he was playing when he first started. He was playing a right back. But then when Bremer got hurt in his last game in the Champions League, he got that really nasty injury.
Sure.
Kalulu stepped into his spot right like that, and he filled that role in perfectly. Like he knew what was going on. And and this is what Kalulu said as soon as the transfer happened, he went to Juve. It's not the direct exact statement. And I talked about it in a previous pod. He said it. He pretty much said that the coaching staff, the stuff that they're instructing to do at Juve is night and day from Fonseca. He didn't know what Fonseca wanted to do. He didn't understand his direction.
To be fair, right, there wasn't a huge overlap in the amount of time that they were there together, and I can understand where he's coming from.
But you can tell right away as a player, even as like you work when you move to a different company. This is and everybody could relate to this. When you go to a different company and you work for a different manager who's more of a leader and is able to explain to you things better. Hold on.
All right, no stress. I just want to go through this comment.
Rebecca,
don't worry. Cute. So someone wrote this in the chat, and it definitely wasn't me. Lab Gorilla switched to Spanish tapas because he's realized it's better than any Italian food. There we go, Lab. It's out there now, man. It's out in the world. All right, let's go through other comments worth. We missed this. MCIG. Thanks for the comments as well, man. Sorry, I've seen one or two. Didn't get around to saying it. Milan should make a move for Paul Pogba. The man is a diligent worker. Would you? I don't know. See, the thing is he's not going to play for another year, I think, at least, right? Isn't it a year or a year and a half? MC, can you confirm? Because I'm sure he's out for at least another year. And you'd wonder then when he's like, what's he doing while he's away? Because is he, I assume he's obviously training, but I mean, you don't really have a guarantee he's training to the required standard. And I believe that, his ban kind of coincides with when he'll be leaving Juventus anyway. So it's not kind of in Juventus' best interest to waste time on him. I mean, it's worth a punt. Forgive the colloquialism, but yeah. Anyway, on that bombshell, Juventus are playing Lazio right now. Yeah, as Nicko was saying. Oh, blast from the past. Romagnoli's gotten himself sent off. 24th minute, red card. So Lazio down to 10 men. Fuck.
Sorry about that, guys. And I'm back.
Okay.
So what I miss, Shane?
I was just so I just went through. I asked the question there, just about from MCIG's comment.
Yeah, he's new to the chat. I've never seen him before. Though.
He is. Nice to see him, man. Milan should make a move for Paul Pogba. The man is a diligent worker, and he's just following it up by saying, "I thought Paul Apili's ban would be ending soon. Big up to you, man." They did shorten his ban. Fuck. Okay, that's new news. So that means but is he still under contract with Juventus?
That's a good question. I know Juve doesn't want him back. Juventini don't want him back.
I have a fuck Juventini, but I mean, like, does Juve want him back? Because if Juve,
I've heard they don't. I mean, that's what I've heard.
Because I'm not downplaying, drug use, or anything like that. Please don't demonetize us, YouTube. Well, we don't get any money anyway. But it is just those performance enhancers, right?
Yeah, PEDs, I believe. Yeah, like I'm not against that. It's not like you're fighting. If this was MMA, a sport you can hurt somebody physically and potentially kill them, like boxing, MMA, then yeah, I'm all against PEDs. But let's be honest, I'm sure there's a ton of other athletes out there, football players that are doing PEDs. They're not getting caught. So if that's the case, I mean, look, the kid has all the potential in the world. He was when he was on his game, he was one of the most like creative players, one of the most fun players to watch, right? He's a really top level player, and would he to come onto Milan? But the thing is, first of all, he's still on the contract with Juve. I don't know if anybody in the chat can let us know. And second, would Fonseca able to control him, because he is a big personality, huge.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is he's a big personality, but you could kind of argue, has he really done much in terms of winning stuff to warrant that? I mean, it's a tough one.
Yeah, I mean, clearly the guy's talented. If he comes into Milan motivated and wanting to prove himself again to being one of the best midfielders in the game,
I mean, you can't say no to that.
You can't say no to that.
No, that's a fair point.
Is it a risk that management is willing to take?
Well, you see, all right. See, now that you mentioned that, I think it's probably blown to bits, because Cardinale look at that and go, "Oh, we want a family-friendly, completely clean view of the club."
A good old American boy.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to take damaged goods like Pogba. It's too much going on with him, man.
He's only 31 too. He's still fairly young.
MCIG just saying, "Oh yeah, I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm new here." Think interesting couple of years for Chelsea fans.
I think that's the first time we've gotten a fan from outside of Serie A tuning in. So the word's spreading, Shane.
That's it. I don't
Moving
think that's
on
a
up.
good thing.
Moving on up to the east side.
East side. God bless us. It's been tough being a Chelsea fan the last couple of years. There's a lot going on there.
Their problem is they have a different problem. They have too many players.
You can offload half of your squad to us, MCIG.
Yeah.
We gladly take them, to be honest.
I'll take some of those young players that you got. I think they have, who's that one player that Chelsea has? I think it's
Carney something. Chukwuemeka or
no, this is another. It's Kendrick Paz. I think he's in Chelsea. Oh yeah, Chelsea. Yeah, Kendrick Paz. He's Peruvian. No, Ecuadorian. He's a player. That kid. I don't know how many minutes he's getting at Chelsea this year. The kid's only 18 years old. I got to watch him a couple of times in Copa Libertadores. The tournament down here is like the equivalent of Champions League out here in South America. That kid is something else. He's a special player.
Interesting.
But he's out of our price range. When I get a player like that, not in my wildest dream.
Dude, talking about out of price range, Ricardo 16 is just saying, wait, is this in? Yeah, this must be in reference to Pogba, because he's just said depends on the price we get Pogba for, because he's getting 10 million net at Juve. There's no fucking way that they pay that. But there's no way that Pogba will be able to request a wage anywhere near that, because no one is going to pay a guy that hasn't played for, however long.
It's been a while.
That's true. MCIG, I just thought about this. We literally, and Lab, that's so true. He's like, we've literally got half of your old squad. It's a fair point.
Thanks for Pulisic, by the way.
Yeah, Pulisic has been great.
He's been the best one. He's been the best one. Lost his cheeks, whatever. He hasn't made an impact since his first couple games as a Milanista.
I do like Tammy though. When I like the concept of Tammy if he stays healthy.
Tammy needs to score. That's his problem. He doesn't.
He does.
I mean, he is getting paid to score goals. He's defending well, but great. Yeah, you're initiating the press. You're chasing down the keeper, trying to ruin their buildup, all that good stuff. But you need to score goals, Tammy. That's what you wrote on this team.
Shared pain as well. Let's talk Milan. So Carmelo has mentioned this as well. Chelsea is owned by Americans too.
Yeah.
Right. So you understand our shared pain, MCIG, and it's not because they're Americans. It's just
but they're spending money. They're spending money.
Yeah.
And then, like, listen, Liverpool is they're owned by an American ownership. Fenway Sports Club that owns the Red Sox, which our beloved Jerry Cardinal owns like 10%, I think, of that stake, or something like that. I could be wrong, maybe 8. I don't know. And they're spending. They actually did, on the off season they were actually fucking competent enough because they had the right people to hire a right coach for the players. Because Slot right now he's doing some he's last time I checked they were first place in the EPL and playing pretty good ball. The problem is they didn't spend any money in the summertime. They were trying to get a CDM, that kid from Spain. They lost on him last minute.
RLC is a sack of roosters. That's an interesting quote. I've never heard that one before.
He's a headless chicken. That's what he is.
Headless fucking chicken, yeah.
The way he runs around, and I was expecting that from Musa. So today, when Musa was subbed in today, I was like, "Oh God, what are we doing,
dude?" I'm low key. I could see bits of I could see playing between the lines like Musa did. It made sense and it looked good. There was bits I seen bits that he should.
My issue was in that game. You're trying to preserve a 1-0 win, right? Musa, for me, my personal opinion, watching him and watching him in the U.S. games as well. I watched him for a while playing for the national team. He's out of position. He does have the speed. We all know that, but he puts himself out of position time and time again.
He does.
Which luckily today they didn't cost us today. But overall, he does have lapses where he puts himself in really bad spots. And when you're playing that double pivot, you can't afford to have your other midfielder do that. But like I said, that's the reason why today you notice today, because Tijani, he has the same issue as Musa. He's out of position all the time defensively. What were they doing is, so there's a couple of different ways to play your double pivot. Either you're moving together, you're shifting over left side, right side, right? And they're in a kind of in the same line, right? So if Tijani moving over to the left, you got Fofana following him right behind, right? On a nice tightrope. But there's also another way where they pinch in. Now, that's what Fofana did, was pinching in. He was shadowing Tijani right behind him on his back shoulder, a couple of yards behind him. So that means if Tijani was out of position and he got beat, Fofana was there to clean up the mess. So I think we're seeing either, I don't know if Musa did that, Fofana did that naturally, instinctively, or was something that Fonseca and his staff have seen over the last few games, something that was a gaping, a gap in the defense, and they corrected that. I don't know, but either way, we're seeing some adjustments. Let's see where we go, because we got another big game coming up too. We have Club Brugge coming up.
Fucking Club Brugge.
But before we get into that, I want to hear from the chat, because this is a pretty common theme that I have on the show over here, is the defensive player of the match. I'm going to leave it up to the people in the chat and to Shane to give me their defensive player of the match.
I know who I'm picking.
Lab, let's talk Milan. Ricardos, MCIG, Chelsea fan, coming EPL. Fadinho, let's hear it. Anybody else that's tuning in? All right, Shane, I want to hear it. Shane, give me your thoughts on defensive player of today's match.
I've mentioned it in the chat. The referee.
The referee. That doesn't count.
Absolutely brilliant. Really stood up for us when we needed him.
We should give him the game ball then, huh?
Yeah. Honest to God. No, to be honest though, man, defensive player of the game. It's a tough one. I'm going to go out on a limb here, right? I would ideally, I'd like to say Fofana because he was quite, yeah. But I'm gonna be extra kind of frothy, right? And I'm going to say Royale
Royale.
because he got an awful lot of slack off of me and off of a lot of people, right? And when he does something half good, I think he should be rewarded for it. So I'm
I
just
mean,
going to say Royale, even though
doing his job.
yeah, but I think it's coming from when you come from Spurs, to a proper football club, it's a big step up, right? So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So yeah, look, honestly, again, okay, if this wasn't just a normal game, I would say Fofana, but because of the shit that I've given Royale over the last couple of weeks, rightfully so, I'll have a bit of penance and I'll just say, yeah, look, Royale, because he didn't do too much wrong, so I have to give him some credit.
Okay, so we got one for Royale. We got one for Fofana, Lab referee MVP, Reindeers, yeah, for testing us. No VAR, Lab definitely.
Yeah, fair.
So we got 2 votes for Fofana, Ricardo 16 and Fadinho with Fofana. Yeah, I would have to say Fofana. It doesn't mean that I think he's a great midfielder by any means, any stretch. And I still think today, if we still had the same midfield trio that we had during the Scudetto run, Fofana would not be seeing the pitch.
True, but we'd also have a second star as well.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
That's like imagine having Tonali back the way he's been playing.
Yeah. And being able to recycle like a working, non-broken Kessie and Benacer because he hasn't been ran into the ground, and he can recycle them in there.
If we would have kept that core, just like Inter's kept their core midfielder for the last few seasons, I mean, we would have gotten that second star for sure by now.
Dude,
guaranteed.
So the stream I was watching. Take care, Lab Gorilla, man.
See you, Lab.
Well, they're not there. So the stream I was watching, it's from a South African sports TV channel as SDTV or STV or something like that. But at halftime they had an interview with Christian Brockie, right? Remember, he was a player for us, used to sit into midfield for a while. And he was also managing us for a couple of games during the banter era. And so the good old days, right? So they'd asked him, one of the really interesting questions they'd asked him is like, what do you think is the biggest issue with Milan's season so far this year? And he mentioned 2 things. So one of the things that he mentioned was, he's like, look, when you have a new group of, let's say, potentially core players, right? And you're trying to integrate them very quickly with a new manager, that is very dangerous. And he also mentioned the problem with the core players, though, is that it was a failure of ownership because ownership didn't build on the Scudetto winning squad. They tore that up and tried starting again.
Completely tore it up.
So it was just an interesting thing, man.
And then, listen, especially tearing up your midfield, that's the heartbeat of your team.
Like, and that was, yourself, Nicko, that was fucking like, that was like a well-oiled machine at some point.
To have 3 really solid midfielders.
I mean, it's like, and it's no secret that like Tomori, right, looked like fucking Franco Baresi, right?
Because he did.
Because he had Kessie sitting in front of him,
protecting his neck,
protecting him, and then Tonali as well, like, or Benny as well, like, fuck. And it's like, it's no secret then, as soon as the midfield left, it's like, oh, Tomori gets found out. Yeah, because he's not protecting him.
Exactly.
Just like fucking Bonucci. Remember Bonucci back in the days? It's like people were going on about, oh, Bonucci's like world class. He's world class. It was literally the fucking team he had sitting in front of him. He used to protect him from so much. Anyway.
Yeah. So let's take a look at our upcoming Champions League game. Well, obviously, we haven't won any so far. We haven't won any Champions League game, right? Last time I checked, that hasn't changed. So our next game coming up, Milan Nation, is on the 22nd against Club Bruges, which they're currently sitting in 4th place in their league right now. That should be an interesting game. And I believe we're playing at home with this game. I mean, this is a must win. If we want to make any kind of drive towards, the next rounds, we need to come out with a win, even just for confidence sake, that we can go out with at least going on a winning streak here in the Champions League game.
No offense to the Belgium league, right? But if we're not winning this by at least 2 clear goals, this, we don't deserve to be in this competition.
Well, this is the 22nd. It's a quick turnaround too. Now we have Abraham. We don't know his health, if he's going to be able to play that game. So now you're down to one healthy striker. Because you're not Jovic. I can't see Jovic making an impact whatsoever.
Was Jovic called up for the UCL? No, he wasn't called up for the UCL squad, was he? It was the Serie A squad he was called up for, but not the UCL, no?
Correct. I think you're right on that. So if that's the case, who's our other striker? We're fucked. We're really fucked. Let's take a look. If anybody in the chat knows that off the top of their head, the Champions League squad list, because I know we left a couple short, even with our meeting the quota for homegrown players too. If we brought up earlier today with Lab, that's why there's talk that we're trying to go after Italian players in the wintertime to meet the quotas that our wonderful Redbird forgot about. I said,
that might be a blessing in disguise, though, because if it means to get Ricci or whatever his name is from.
Ricci's not going to be. He's not worth 20. He's worth more than 20 mil.
Yeah.
He's performing really well at Torino. We all saw that last season.
I think Man City are after him as well, so that pretty much fucks that.
I don't know how well he's going to fit in with Rod. He's a different player than Rodri. I don't know if he's going to. But they got the cash to splash for days.
That's it.
But I want to see him leave the EPL. Hell no. I'd be upset if another talented Italian player left to go to the EPL because a team. But I don't see him in our price range. He's that 20 million, magic number. It's not going to happen with us. I'll be extremely surprised if we're able to get him. And we got to get a right back too, because the only right back that we have is currently Royale, who's not being pushed for his spot. Calabria's not pushing anybody out of their spot. He has nobody pushing him in training, so you got to get another right back. Now, the right back I'd like to see and would be the kid from Fiorentina, who's Italian. I think he might Coyote. We've talked about him in numerous times in the chat, on the show, previous podcasts.
They were looking at a kid from Fiorentina.
Yeah, it's the kid. He's from Fiorentina. He's the right back.
No, it's not Coyote. It's they were looking at one of the, to fulfill the quotas. This kid is barely playing though.
What's it?
Shit. What is it?
That's a hell of a name. Shit. That's
no, that's well then. It is. Who is it? It's not Coyote. Fabiano Parisi.
Oh, Parisi, yeah, the left. He plays on the left side.
Yeah, they were looking to get him as a deputy for Theo, apparently.
Or possibly Theo's replacement if Theo decides to go.
Let's not go there. Okay, MCIG has said it. He'd take RLC back. Please, if you take it back,
Yeah, listen,
we'll pay you.
his game fits the EPL. His style of play. That's. I mean, he's not even strong and physical. Man, it's like I don't even know. He looks physical. It looks like he could run people over. He doesn't do it quite enough, but he's got that EPL type of game to him. That's more his speed. Doesn't go back to the EPL. That's where he had his best success. So maybe that's the best for the guy, because just like we know, Serie A is not for everybody.
Yeah, it's just
a different
styles,
beast.
isn't it?
It's a different style. You're dealing with different tactics. Coaches playing different styles. They're always changing things up left and right.
Because he's a unit of a player, but he doesn't seem to ever use the fact that he is a unit of a player. He doesn't, he doesn't like impose himself on anyone.
No, and you would think with that frame he'd be imposing himself and he'd be stronger on the ball. But a lot of time he's really soft on the ball. He's not that press resistant. The minute you press him, he gives up the ball time and time again. So yeah, please take him off our hands, Chelsea.
That's it.
Dude, I will fly him personally to Chelsea. RLC, if you're listening, anybody from his family, I'll buy you the ticket, RLC. I'll do you that.
See, you say that, but then when you figure out, it's like, oh shit, now it's just going to be more Musa.
I think Musa, under the right tutelage, mentorship, he could be a decent player for us.
Yeah, and to be fair, I did like quite a lot of what I seen from him today, man.
But is he? Is Milan the right club for him right now? That's the key. No. That's what I mean. So there's this, Milan's not a club where you can just develop players, and unless they're your homegrown players, then yeah, you have to invest the time in that. But a player like Musa, send him out. Just send him out to another club and get some playing time. A good team with good tactics. Give him there for a season. See him come back. Hopefully, if he improves, you bring him back. And you fit him in. It's that midfield. But look, January's coming up. Transfer market. We need a right back. We need a deputy. We need a left back to push Theo, unless we're thinking about Jimenez, which we haven't seen. Right? We haven't seen Jimenez. We haven't seen Bartasaghi. We haven't seen Liberali either. He was on the bench today again. All right? Poor kid. He's sitting there. He's probably just getting ramped. He's all hyped up to get on the pitch. Got a couple of minutes in a game, and he's still being benched. So these are the things that like I said from the beginning of the season. If this season's gonna be a loss, and we're gonna finish top 4, top 5, at least give these kids a chance to play. That's all.
I love the fact that everyone in the chat is trying to get MCIG to take RLC back.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Please.
That's right.
Please take RLC back. The thing is again, not to be picking at RLC too much. It's we don't have. It's not like we're spoiled for choice and he's 10th in the pecking order,
He just doesn't fit into our system, even in a 4-3-3. So this is the conversation I had with somebody else. There's a guy named Zion Train. He used to leave comments in these chats, but not anymore. He said a while back that a player like Loftus-Cheeks and Tijani would be better off in a 4-3-3 because they play that system. Tijani plays it in Holland, the Netherlands. And Loftus-Cheeks played it at Chelsea when they had that really good club a few seasons ago, like back in 17-18. So I dug into that. And if you compare the supporting cast that Tijani has in that 4-3-3 system and our Loftus-Cheeks, what he had at Chelsea, you can't compare those teams with the current squad that we have in Milan. Even if you put him in a 4-3-3, Loftus-Cheeks is not going to cut it.
Yeah. It's kind of that thing of like, average players can look very good when they're flanked by good players, right?
and they can kind of pick up after your fuck ups, in a sense, your mistakes.
Yeah.
Because if you make a mistake and you have a really good defensive midfielder behind you, he's gonna pick up the pieces.
Yeah, and I always go back. I know it's a completely different club, but I always go back to the whole Bonucci thing at Juventus. So, you know, when Chiellini left,
and he came to the United States, I think, right? Chiellini at the time.
Yeah, Chiellini went to the US, and I'm sure Bonucci was there for a bit of time on his own, but he was getting found out. And it's like, yeah, it's because you were never really the talented one. You were alongside a very talented player.
You were his Robin. You was his sidekick, pretty much.
Yeah, and that was pretty much it. It's kind of those similar vibes. I wouldn't mind Chelsea's money though, especially MCIG. Let's swap owners.
I wouldn't mind Napoli's midfield, to be honest. That's my favorite midfield currently in Syria.
Yeah.
Lobotka and the other guy, Anguissa.
Yeah.
Those two are units. But I think Lobotka might miss our game for Napoli, or might miss the game with Milan. He's out with some muscle issues right now. Lobotka.
That being said, man, I can't see Napoli going all the way.
Who do you think? I mean, I know it's too early to tell. I mean,
Inter.
You think they're going to turn it around?
Yeah, easily. I think, you know, it is far easier for Inter with the depth of their squad to turn it around and go on a 20 or 10 game winning streak compared to Napoli maintaining, this level of consistency. Napoli don't have the depth. Like,
the one edge Inter has is that Inzaghi is one of the most, he's a top 3, top 4 coach in Europe for sure at this point.
Yeah,
he's always changing tactics. If something so now the things that didn't work out against us in the derby, I'm sure he's changed everything. He's made his adjustments. I know they've had issues this year, Inter giving up goals, but I'm sure Inzaghi is going to figure it out, get his team to adjust, make the right tactical changes, and get the team moving. And sooner or later, they just have too much firepower too. Christ, you got Thuram, you have Martinez, you have Taremi, Christ, and just the amount of dangerous players. Eventually, they're gonna start going on a run and wind the lead. And then, obviously, Inzaghi's been with the team a lot longer than Conte has been with Napoli. Yeah. So I think going forward, that's going to be the race. Those two going neck to neck, and maybe Juve as well.
Do you know what, man? I wouldn't be surprised if maybe come February, Napoli are completely just out of the race.
Just imagine Conte's reaction if that happens.
No, there's too many things stacked against Conte remaining as that Napoli manager for me. It's not,
he does have a good squad. That's I'll give him that much.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know.
And they're playing Empoli tomorrow too. That's an early game. That's a 5:30 game my time. Christ.
So everyone knows how outspoken ADL is over in Napoli, but can you imagine him and fucking Conte being in a room for longer than 5 minutes?
Yeah, especially when shit starts hitting starts going really bad for them.
This is it.
If that happens,
this is it. If it's if they're not if they don't pick up points for let's say 4 games in a row, Conte is gone essentially. Because Conte will have a blow off, or ADL will, and the two of them will just butt heads, and then it's like, okay, yeah.
We saw what happened last season when Napoli made that change. How many changes did they make last season with managers? Two changes or 3?
It was 2 or 3 because they had Mazzari, then they have Rudy Garcia as well.
Yeah, Garcia for a little bit. Yeah, it was one worse manager after the next for them.
ADL isn't someone who provide stability, and then next thing you have fucking Conte as a manager who's not known for that either. So it's like,
You know, the one good thing we'll get some good material out of Napoli fans when they start losing games, if that's the case.
oh, the court levels.
No, if you've seen it online, I'm sure everybody in the chat seen it. The father and son
Yeah.
in their apartment was dressed donned in light blue and Napoli colors. The reactions
because they got Milan in the UCL. Yeah.
there'll be
To be
some
honest,
pure comedy coming out of Napoli for sure.
but you know yourself, they're pretty much historically irrelevant club. The only reason anyone knows about him is because Maradona went there for 2 years.
Maradona, and they're still living off of that.
Literally, that's it. Like, I mean, them winning the title was like, any other team winning the Champions League to them.
Yeah, 100%.
So I was like,
100%.
it's just not a historically relevant club. I'm sorry.
So any Napoli fans listening, that's just facts. Don't we didn't mean to get you upset or trigger anything.
Exactly.
That's not what we're trying to do. Quick thing. So tomorrow's games: Empoli, Napoli, 5:30 by time. That's super early. I'm not gonna get Venezia at Atlanta, Lecce, Fiorentina, Calgary, Torino, Roma, Inter. That's gonna be a good game, and Verona, Monza. That's tomorrow's schedule in Serie A. Some decent games.
What would you bet Napoli will drop points against Empoli?
Sure. Why not? I don't know.
I think so. I think it's the wheels will start to come off that fucking pretty quickly, I'd say.
Oh, a quick thing, 50. They're in the second half with Juve, Lazio in the 51st minute, still 0-0.
That's it. Fuck it. All right, man. I'm gonna get something to eat and then go.
Shane, thanks for jumping on. Everybody in the chat, Fadinho, Let's Talk Milan, MCIG, Chelsea fan. Who else? John, Lab Gorilla earlier today. Anybody else did I miss? And Ricardo 16. All right, fellas, everybody, thanks again for tuning in. Milan Nation. Forza Milan. Shane, always good seeing you.
It was good seeing you, man. God bless.
All right. Later.
Bye.
Yeah. The style ruled around when I was just a kid. I watch it with my pops, man, that's how I live. They see me run on the screen, dreams in my eyes. Come cornered up, Bambino, man, time fly. The Rossoneri bloodline, deep in my veins. From the highs to the lows, I was feeling the pain of life. Next to the devil, that's where I reside. Una vida canto diavolo, we ride or die. Bandito forever, man, this love won't fade. From several nights to memories we made. Bandito, a red and black we fight. Living for the club on the stadium lights. From a boy to a man, I'm never letting go. AC Milan forever, that's all I know. Every season, every match, we bringing the heat. From San Siro to the streets where we meet. I grew up watching, with my pops by my side. La guardavo con papà, Milan's my pride. Legends on the pitch with power in the mix. That's the Aceto, man, that's the fix. Bandito in my soul, I'm repping it loud. Forever Rossoneri, standing tall in the crowd. Bandito, a red and black we fight. Living for the club on the stadium lights. From a boy to a man, I'm never letting go. AC Milan forever, that's all I know. It's a bond unbreakable, forged in the fire. Rossoneri till the end will never tire. Una vida canto diavolo, we stay strong. Singing AC Milan songs, this love's lifelong. The days of my youth, to now I stand. AC Milan, the team that shaped the man. Bandito forever, in red and black I trust. With Milan in my heart, it's more than just lust. Bandito, in red and black we fight. Living for the club on the stadium lights. From a boy to a man, I'm never letting go. AC Milan forever, that's all I know. Through every win and every painful loss, we stand united no matter the cost. Con quando da bambino, watching with pride. With Milan and my father, man, we never divide. Bandito, I'm here to my last breath. For the club I love, I'll ride to death. Una vida quieto diavolo, that's my way forever. AC Milan till my final day. Bandito, we're red and black, we fight. Living for the club on the stadium lights. From a boy to a man, I'm never letting go. AC Milan forever, that's all I know. Yo, every win and every painful loss, we stand united no matter the cost. Come cuando da bambino, watch and reply. With Milan and my father, man, we never divide. Bandito, I'm here till my last breath. For the club I love, I'll ride to death. Una vida quieto diavolo, that's my way forever. AC Milan till my final day. Bandito, we're red and black, we fight. Living for the club on the stadium lights. From a boy to a man, I'm never letting go. AC Milan forever, that's all I know. Banditi, Rossoneri, to the grave for the love of Milan, that's how we stay brave. AC Milan, forever we shine. With the devil by our side, we'll never decline. Bandito, Bandito, we're red and black, we fight. For the love. Bandito, we're red and black, we fight. For the stadium lights. From a boy to a man, I'm never letting go. AC Milan forever, that's all I know. Rossoneri to the grave for the love of Milan, that's how we stay brave. AC Milan, forever we shine. With the devil by our side, we'll never decline. Bandito, live a lover. Bandito, bandito, live a lover. Rossoneri to the grave. Bandito, live a lover. Bandito, bandito, live a lover.